This is Lightning Cloud, and I thought I would take some time to talk about a book series that came out not that long ago. The Divergent book series by Veronica Roth. I had just finished reading that series, and I have a lot of good things to say about it, as well as bad things. So I thought I'd take some time in this video, along with two others, to talk about my opinion of it. Here's what I think. So, the Divergent book series. It's a good series, and I recommend reading it. It's great action, suspense. There's many different things in this book, and I recommend reading it. I really do. Veronica Roth is a good author. She is able to paint pictures in your head with the imagination and creativity that she writes in her books very well, very pictured. And when it comes down to it, she is a really good author. And I would recommend the book series. The whole series, not just Divergent, not just Insurgent or Allegiant, the whole series. Read it. Read the first book, you have to read the other two. You have to finish the book series, you have to read them all. Pretty much how it begins, the first book, pretty much how it begins is the main character, Beatrice Pryor is her name. She's 16 and lives in the city of Chicago. And pretty much how it goes is in the city is taking place in a dystopian future. Obviously dystopian. If you read the book, there's no doubting that it's dystopian. Stupid pencil. Anyway. So then when it goes on to explain how pretty much there's these tests, okay? And when it comes down to how the tests work, they're called aptitude tests. And the 5 factions, which are candor, which is honesty, amity, which is peace, abnegation, which is selflessness, dauntless, which is bravery, and erudite, which is knowledge. When it comes down to it, the entire book is pretty much split based upon the factions and the different things they mean about human nature. Divergent, which is, I'm going to get to this, is something else. And Trish finds this out very soon, Beatrice, that it's when she takes her aptitude test, she finds out about divergency, which is the ability to be able to not do that, pretty much. You don't fit into a certain faction. When you are divergent, you are able to manipulate the settings of things like simulations and serums, which include the aptitude test, because it just doesn't work on you. And when it comes down to it, pretty much you're just able to know and do, you're aware. Veronica Roth is very good at picturing this. She's very good imagery creator and very creative with the way she speaks in her words. Which kills me to say this, but I'm going to say it into a later video, so I'm not going to say it now. Anyway, when it comes down to it, divergency to the rest of society is a bad thing. You don't conform or fit into any of the factions. And pretty much in the end, if you aren't able to do this, you either don't go within, you don't fit in, you shouldn't be here, and that can involve either going and joining the faction lists, or the end of your life. In most cases, it's the end of your life. Anyway, when it came down to it, Trish was able to conquer her abilities to do what she wanted. After the aptitude test, which tells you which faction you would fit into, you're still able to choose which faction you want to go to. And Trish chooses Dauntless, which is bravery, obviously. And she came from Abnegation, which tended to have, which was the selfless faction. You thought of others before thinking of yourself, selflessness, obviously. And they're the ones that can also control the government in the city. So, Erudite, which is the one of knowledge, pretty much hates abnegation. And, not sure why, it's kind of odd, but, read the book, you'll find out. Anyway, Trish chooses Dauntless, goes to the Dauntless headquarters, and goes through initiation, which is pretty much the rest of the book, except about the middle and probably the end. If you've watched the movie, I've seen the movie. I think the book is better. It's just more detailed. It's more elaborate. You learn more things that just can't be put in movies because of this kind of random things. I mean, like, in a book, you could have a lot of dialogue. In movies, you can also have a lot of dialogue basis between characters. But when you have an insert dialogue, or an internal argument, which is an argument with yourself that you're having in your head, like, say, you're reading a horror book, and the character's debating on whether or not to open the door to the basement. You could have anywhere from a page to 5 pages on just the character deciding whether or not to open the door. And in the end, she opens the door, or anyway. In a movie, the character just opens the door. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So, I tend to read the books before watching the movies. I am a critic, I'm sorry. But I think the books are better than the movies. If you've seen the movie and haven't read the book, you're missing out. Believe me. So yeah, the Divergent series by Veronica Roth, I highly recommend it. If you like science fiction, stuff that takes place in the future, or you like action, suspense, it's got some of that in there. And then, of course, there's a little romance. It's a little more prominent in the second and third book, but there's a little bit there near the end of the book between two characters, prominently Beatrice and Four, which was actually her instructor. I'm not going to elaborate. This is just kind of like my opinion, so hey, you don't like this, make your own opinion, because this is my opinion. Don't steal it, please. I would rather not. Anyway, that's about all I got. Here I got like a minute left to record. So, yeah. Read the Divergent book series. Stuff. Anyway, well, you can look me up. I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, you're watching it. Anyway, I don't think it matters so much anymore. And hey, if you need to look me up, Plus Light and Cloud, Google Plus. Yep, boom, done it, did it, party. And I'm part of many communities. I'm in the Gamers Quarantine, which is pretty much the community of gamers. I have a brony. If you want anything with My Little Pony, there you go. If you have anything for gaming, look me up. I'm here. Believe me, I got all the time in the world. Unless if I'm not busy doing something else, obviously. I do have my busy parts. Memes. I can make memes. I can do a lot. I do all this on my phone, if you're wondering. So, the quality's crappy. Yeah, I know. Anyway. So, I think that's all she wrote. Well, anyway. This is Lightning Cloud. Signing off.